To what we have for you today. Now, good morning, everyone, and welcome to FCT Brief. Today on the show, we'll turn our attention to the African Democratic Congress as it convenes a crucial gathering under the leadership of David Mark, a convention unfolding at a time of notable internal tensions and party realignments amid reports of factional disputes, leadership questions, and concerns over party cohesion. The convention presents both a test and an opportunity for the ADC. Can the party navigate its internal challenges and emerge stronger, or will the cracks deepen ahead of the future political contests?
For observers and stakeholders alike, the outcome of this convention could signal the party's direction and relevance in Nigeria's evolving political landscape. But to other political watchers, it could be the end of the road for the ADC's participation in the 2027 elections. Now, this morning, we are joined by Austine Okai, a member of the ADC. He will offer insights into the issues at play, the outcome of the convention, and what lies ahead for the party. Austine, nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Sorry
welcome.
for coming late.
All right. So fully welcome into the ADC. Now, your party just had its national convention in spite of the internal crises and subsisting court ruling that derecognized the leadership of David Mark and the ADC. Now, people are asking, on what moral basis a party that wants to rule the country, there's a court ruling that was negative against this leadership, and you went ahead with the convention. Do you build something on nothing?
There's nothing of such like that. You are aware that the INEC national chairman went personal as far as the case of ADC is concerned. The interview he granted on Arise TV shows his biased approach to the issues, and that's what led to the protest. He misinterpreted the status quo antebellum, which you know it, and which other learned of political observers, people like Femi Falanas and co, even Professor Sagi and co, has already condemned him that he took side on that interpretation. So we are already in the Supreme Court, which is the apex court, and the ruling will automatically will be to our favor because they knew there's no way in Nigeria or a party of such formation will be deprived of participating in the coming 2027 election. It is impossible.
All right, so if a federal high court ordered a return to status quo ante-bellum, on what basis and legal basis did your faction hold the convention? Which status quo ante-bellum
are they talking about? As at the time Nafi was participated in the handing over of the party ceremony or the taking over of NWC by David Mark. So which as a status quo ante-bellum are they talking about? Is it the man that handed over or Nafi? Nafi was never a national chairman at any times. So what we used to look, he was never a national chairman at any times. He was never. So there's nothing like a status quo ante-bellum that what INEC is supposed to have done is to seek interpretation at the apex court, which they refused to do. And that's why we say that they took side in it. So idea of saying that we went outside or tried to build nothing on something, there is nothing of such. Nafi was never a national chairman of ADC.
So there's quite a confusion about the leadership of the party. We have the David Mark faction, the Kachuku faction, the Bala Gombe faction. Which faction?
There was no faction like that. It was a creation of the ruling party, and that is just the reality. And
just
as I said earlier, where was Nafi? Nafi participated at the final, which INEC themselves.
These people that I just mentioned. These people I just mentioned.
They are just creation. They were creation.
They are part of your party.
They were creation. You know that official. We know how this thing works. When you sound like this, as if we are trying to legitimize the non-existing issues, these people are not in existence. We know people we are fighting. We are fighting a ruling party.
Okay.
We know people we are fighting, and the body language of INEC national chairman communicated it all.
Okay, Austine, let's look at it this way. You say you are fighting, you know people you are fighting the ruling party. Now, it's easy to say that because the ruling party is the ruling party. But there are dissent views in your party. Nephew, you said he resigned. Nephew said, I did not resign. You said the Ungosu resigned. Nephew said, by the constitution of the party, I'm next in line. My question is, if you had an opportunity to rule this country and there is somebody and there's crisis in the country, will you blame an external force interfering in your country, or you will try to solve the challenge?
What I see happening is
members of
you are trying to recognize a non-existing
No.
after talk. Where was Nafi after 2 months? Where was he? His resignation was announced immediately. Mosul left. Him and Mosul resigned the same day. Why did he not counter it? Where was he? Where was he? He stayed there about 2 to 3 months. He's come. That's what we call afterthought. And you know in the realities of ground. It is all political. So there's nothing about ruling and blaming the external forces. There's nothing like external forces. You heard what the president even said the day before yesterday. When some people say jokingly, when you say I said this president to other side and go and scatter them. I don't know you get into what you say. It is not joking. He's communicating and it is obvious. So the realities on ground is simple. The realities on ground is simple. The ruling party, which so many of them has confessed, including their national chairman, the National Public Secretary, who appeared on the Arise TV and asking INEC to deregister ADC. It is obvious. It is obvious. We are having INEC that is not being sincere and it's not helping the democracy. It's not about us.
You're blaming an independent body for what is happening within
for the registry, for the recognizing the demand instead of seeking interpretation.
We'll talk more about that.
When has Professor Mupita become an interpreter of law?
Let's go on this short break. We will continue that right after. Stay with us to convention and amidst the internal crisis, and we still have with us Austine Okai. Now, before we went on the break, you said, when has INEC become an interpreter of law? Are you suggesting that INEC should not follow court directly?
There was no clear-cut order. The court said that start maintaining the status quo antebellum. And I've said it before, there was never a time Nafi was a national chairman of ADC. Assuming it's even a Mosul that is laying the complaint, that is when we would have said. Status quo antebellum does not recognize Nafi. The INEC recognizing Nafi, a man who never existed as national chairman. That is where we are talking about. That is where the case is all about. You went and deregistered instead of seeking further interpretation. And that is when we say INEC has taken side. A referee supposed to be not biased, not wearing a particular club jersey, and be still maintaining the. And that was what led to us staging a protest demanding his resignation. It's not about us, it's about democracy. It's about the international community observing us and see what we are doing. At this level of our democracy, is it what we're supposed to be talking about?
Okay, Austine, judicial interpretation, you said it's not the responsibility of INEC to interpret, that INEC should have gone to court. You also should have gone to Supreme Court for that interpretation.
That's what we are doing.
Now, yes, the case is before the Supreme Court, and the question was, why hurry up when you knew you took a case?
There was no any court order stopping us. As at the time we handed over our state congresses, world congresses, local government congresses, state congresses, and the national convention. Up till now, the ADC has not been served any court order stopping us from national convention. There's nothing of such. That is what we are talking about. Can APC alone accommodate all the political interests in Nigeria? The question remains unanswered. So that's what you can't say you have win a fight where nobody fight with you, or you say you are a warrior when you have never tested any war. The realities on ground is that the position of INEC raised a serious concern. You went and said status quo antebellum at what time? And I ask again, even this is before the court of public opinion, there was never a time Nafi become a national chairman of ADC.
But why is it only ADC that believes that, every other person is wrong and it is right?
We are not saying we are right. If we say we are right, we have gone to court. We are in the Supreme Court. We are in appeal court. Where else? We approach court of competent jurisdiction. And if the Supreme Court go otherwise, fine, we will know the next step to take. We did not take law into our hand. We wrote to INEC for National Convention, as demanded by the law, 21 days notice, which they acknowledged. And instead of them to come and carry out their constitutional duty, they were absent. It's left for Nigeria to judge them. And that is also portrayed them in line with what I say, that they are biased.
Okay. You held the convention, and just recently again there were issues coming up about how to have the Congress who will fly the party ticket in the next election. Different camps are saying, okay, it's my candidate. The Obi camp is saying that, the Atiku camp is saying that, and people say, look, with all these gladiators that are into your party, and instead of looking for how to put your house in order, you're busy blaming the ruling party. But you need to pick a candidate. You need to pick a candidate that will fly the ticket of the party. What method is your party going to adopt?
Which candidate we need to pick? As we done the primary election, we are just being in a hurry for nothing. We just finished from the convention. I don't know you get it now. When we get there, we will sort it out. The gladiators are there to add values to the party. And you heard Atiku say yesterday, he's willing not just to accept, to support whoever emerged as the candidate and the flag bearers of the party. And likewise to others. So are you saying that all 26 of them, Kwakwaso, Atiku, Tambuwa, Obi, Amechi, they are aware that we can only fly one candidate?
Listen to the statement of Atiku. Listen to the statement of Atiku. It's not the issue of stepping aside. Rather, would I support? He said, in the coalition, the first option will be to work out a consensus.
Yes.
If that doesn't emerge, then we go for direct primary. Yes. Now, in talking about consensus, that is your first option.
He is talking as a personal opinion.
I said, okay, the party, I'm asking you, is the party looking at consensus?
Definitely.
As the first?
All our congresses and conventions are all consensus. We never carried out. It was all consensus arrangement. And that is exactly what we are expecting to happen at the National Assembly, choosing the candidate of National Assembly, governorship, and the presidency. It will happen. But when should it fail, just as he says, we'll go into a direct primary.
I like the fact that you mentioned Nigerians are watching in one part of your statement, because Nigerians are looking forward to having a viable opposition that can challenge the APC in the 2027 election. But unfortunately, they do not see the ADC as a fresh alternative because they see it as a recycled avenue for politicians. That's what we see on the public space. I speak to Nigerians on a daily. No, I speak to Nigerians on a daily basis, and that's what they say. We see, and that's what we see. Recycled politicians from other parties. There's no fresh. There's no freshness within the ADC.
Wait, I don't understand. You should understand that there's a
My question is, what is the fresh angle you're offering to Nigerians ahead of 2027?
I said this before. Forget it. Nobody is born today. You cannot be born today and start politics. You start from somewhere. And that's why you see, to get into that level, you can't be fresher in politics. You can't. You can't just leave Arise TVC today and say you are going to contest for presidency. You know it. You need to learn. You need procedure. There are steps you must pass to get to that level. So when you see experienced people there,
I thought it's about credibility of whoever is contesting. I didn't know that you needed experience.
You can't take away credibility without experience. We've never been tested. How will you say you have a credibility? I don't know you get it. It is people that have been tested that you can say you trusted. They have never been tested. So these people are tested. And we know who has credibility, who doesn't have a credibility among them. So when we are saying that the party has a manifesto, not individual. If Atiku emerged today, he can't run Nigeria on his own personal principle. Should Obi emerge today, he can't run Nigeria on his own personal principle. Should Atiku emerge, he can't run Nigeria on his own personal principle.
So with all that is happening within the ADC, do you think that Nigerians can trust the ADC with a mandate of ruling?
People, why can't they trust the ADC? Who is in ADC?
Well, you can't keep your house in order.
People, including President Tinubu, is he new? He was a governor in Lagos. He was a senator in Lagos. Is he new politician? He is not. So likewise to Kwakwaso, Obi, Atiku, none of them is a saint, none of them is new. If they can trust, if some people trust Tinubu, why can't they trust Atiku? Why can't they trust Kwakwaso? Why can't they trust Apitobi? Why can't they trust Ahmed Tamboa? These are the realities on ground. So saying that can Nigeria trust them, yes, they should be able to trust them. They are men that have been tested in various capacity. They have showcased their capacity in various opportunity given to them.
Okay, so, Austine, your national convention also had it hit hammer on some of your members. Honorable Abejide, also Nephew, and all that. And people wondered that the party should have capacity to broker peace. That these are people with dissenting views. Yes. Instead of reaching out and saying, look, how do we work together? Yes, you decide to hit the hammer. Does that speak of a political party that wants to govern?
Expulsion is part of party discipline, but I still believe that there should be a reconciliation method or mechanism.
In expulsion, there's a process.
So that before going to that level, there must have been some attempts taken which may not be made public, which is not supposed to even be a public issue. But I still believe after this pronouncement, there can still be reconciliation after the Supreme Court ruling. But you heard my friend Leka Abejide said in one of his interviews that should defeat Mark win, he will leave ADC. So in that situation, you cannot say that you are seeing reconciliation, but there's nothing that is impossible as far as the game of politics is concerned. On that expulsion, the party will just wake up and take that action. There must have been some procedure taken before they reach that level.
Okay, but the procedure, that is what we're saying, that procedure, like you disagree with the expulsion from the party, that should be thorough reconciliation of these particular gladiators before that process. Then let's look at the ADC still looking at how to win the next election. Now, what are your strategies? My colleague asked earlier on, what exactly differently are you selling to Nigerians?
So you see the movement. You can see, despite the crisis, people are still joining the party. We are having this issue before Kaiberugaya came in. We have these issues before the senator from Katsina, Sokoto, etc. People are joining the party every day. This is a signal. It's a pointer to the fact that once we finish these Supreme Court cases, the election is done and dusted over. The presidents is aware of that. The governors of the ruling parties are aware of that. And that's why you see their national chairman holding a press conference yesterday in his house. This is the first time he's having such a press outing. He knew what is on ground. And that is just the reality. The Nigerians are ready. We look at the crowd that came in, despite we did not announce the venue, we did not inform anybody that this is a social place we are going to. They are aware the security, the FCT deprive us of opportunity to hold our convention in a necessary environment. But crowd, people came out in their large numbers. I don't know you get it now. And you go to the north, you see the movement of Malami to Kebbi. See the crowd, see Kwakwaso, see Kano. See it is a movement that is happening. And that is why this the obstacle, which I know will soon somersault, is happening. So Nigerians are ready. It's not about us talk of our strategy for me to come and sit down on television here and disclose our strategy. That is no longer a strategy.
All right.
I don't know you get it now.
Ash earlier mentioned that your party, the ADC, is always quick to throw blame games, always blaming the APC for what is happening within your party. And even in your recent convention, you still blame the ADC, APC's reforms for deepening the hardship. Well, fair enough. What alternative frameworks is your party offering to Nigerians?
Up till now, during Jonathan time, there's what you call SOPI, which was the creation of the partial fuel subsidy removal. We have a president who removed 100% subsidy removal. Up till now, where is this money going to? No agency is created to disburse this money. Nothing.
Receive increased allocations to states.
What is what we are talking about? How many of them have carried out a massive recruitment of civil servants of recent? So many secondary school, public schools across the state are no longer functioning. It's not about you empowering the governor. I empower Nigerians. Today, as I'm talking to you now, from Marabayanya here to Federal Secretariat, it's around 2,000 plus. How much is their monthly salaries? How many populations are included, embedded in the federal payment structures? Because of them are in private. How many private organizations can meet up in terms of managing compared to the running costs? These are what we are saying. There should be a question. We are making huge amount of money. Every transaction, every transfer, we pay 10 naira. We are paying stamp duty. We are paying this thing. We are still borrowing. We are having so much money. Where is this money going to? You are giving to the governor. Which mechanism do you put in place? You are asking the citizens to go and check the governor when the president.
Let's not confuse the normal way of doing things. Money's end from subsidy like that, from such money goes to the federation account, and there are constitutional procedure how to share the money. So it's not money that the federal government will just keep.
This administration, through the federation,
let me ask you.
Supreme Court.
Let me ask you the question.
That granted autonomy to local government. Up till now, there's lack of political will to implement it. Is the local government, CBN has refused to create an account for the local government. Are they getting their money? Why is this still maintaining a joint account with the state government?
Which local government said they are not getting
it?
No
local government is
It's easy for you to start to sit here and say they are not getting it. But which local government has complained that they are not getting it? I can
tell you that authoritatively that no local government is receiving direct allocation from Central Bank of Nigeria. Up till now. And even as our last 2 or 3 months, when the president met some governors, he still begged them that they should allow the local government to function. Why will you beg when you have the power to implement it? Attorney General of the Federation of Academy approached the Supreme Court, and it was ruled that the local government, the entire system of government, should be allowed to function. What are we talking about? It's not about you sending the money, collect money from us. You are only creating a powerful governance instead of creating a powerful nation. And I think the president is not perfect. There's increase in allocation to the state. In reality.
So the ADC will have kept such increase in the federal
coffers. You do not
keep
it. One, you can empower farmers.
Look at from here to Nyanya. Look at the rate of potholes. You empower agents. That's why I told you of SOPI. Let this rain start and go drive through Abuja and see people even with baby at their back standing inside this.
Are you being fair by just highlighting the ills? What of the progresses being made? Are you? You've mentioned Abuja. Now you've mentioned Abuja. You've mentioned the Nyanya way. What of other parts of Abuja? Are you ignorant to other developments happening along Abuja?
It's substantial work that was just bleed off, almost to him now because we're lucky.
So does that condemn all works being done?
Which area? More from the street, the darkness everywhere. The street lights are not functioning.
You know, I mentioned the issue of recycled politicians earlier. Some of the people in your party have been in power before. What did they do with their time in office? Atiku.
Which Atiku? Atiku was a vice president.
Yes.
He has never been. And what did he do?
How much influence did he make?
I am not going to speak for him, but I'm going to speak for him as a stakeholder of my party. As a vice president, order him will recover Okozewela. Order him will discover El Rufai. Under him, we discover New Ribad, who did well, perfectly. You know that the foundation of the modern FCT was laid by Malagasy Welfare. And I think as a chairman of economic forum, you knew the economy position of Nigeria under Okozewela when he was a minister of finance. These are the technocrats we discover, we recruited, we engaged.
We can go on and on.
It is we mentioned ADC is a product of PDP.
That was PDP.
We've run out of time right now, but we have to
go.
You should have come early. Thank you so much for your time on the program. It's always a delight speaking with you. Thank you.